Today I decided to make some bread. I'm gonna make some soup, and I decided to make some bread. It's kind of cold, and you know how I love to bake when it's rainy and kind of damp day. I know I have a video already on YouTube with bread, but the recipe that I have on YouTube video does not have a recipe, and it's a large quantity, and some people don't want to make that large quantity, so I decided I was going to make some for us to make a small amount and show you what I'm going to do. 8 cups of flour, and as you know, if you've seen my other recipe, you know I always have some pre-made yeast that I keep it in my fridge, and this is what it is. I took it this morning, and I'm gonna do my yeast. So in here I have 1 tablespoon of salt, 1.5 tablespoon of yeast, and then 2 tablespoons of sugar. I have 2 tablespoons of butter, 1 cup of milk, and then I have here some warm water. So I'm gonna start by making my yeast. Now, if you don't have yeast that you do it in, keep it in a fridge, that's fine. You can just do this the same way without the having. But I like to keep the one that I keep in the refrigerator because my mom always had pre-made yeast, and it gives a different texture and a different taste to the bread. So we always call it scent. So she would always leave some from when she made bread. And actually what she would do, it was with, when she made the cornbread, she would leave a little bit and she would feed it, which means is add more flour and you kind of make it, and then she would leave it aside. In those days was not in refrigerator. It was in on a counter. She would leave that on a counter, and that's how it would stay from 1 week to the next. And then the day that we made the bread, we would feed it again. And I add a little bit more water, and this water is warm water. You do not want hot water. You want just warm water because you don't want to kill that yeast. Okay, so we're gonna leave this aside. And in my flour, I'm gonna add my salt. And in here I have 1 cup of milk and 2 tablespoons of butter. And the milk is warm. I wanted to melt that butter. And I'm gonna put this in microwave to melt it, and I'll come back. My yeast has done its thing, so now I'm gonna add the yeast. That's how you know if your yeast doesn't rise when you're doing this, or your yeast is too old, or you used hot water. The water was too hot and you killed it. I'm gonna add my milk and butter that I melted. And then I'm gonna start with maybe 4 cups of water. This is warm water. And then we'll see as we go along if we need more. Because it's depends the flour, depends the weather. You might need more, or you might need less. I'm gonna add another cup, and I'll have the right measurements on for the video, so that way you're not be guessing. But like I said, be prepared that when you make bread, it depends the type of flour you have and the weather. And I don't work very much my bread. I kind of just want to mix at this point. and kind of find the consistency. And like I said, at this point, sometimes you might say, oh, it's kind of too soft. It will change as it starts rising. So I'm gonna let this sit here for about 15 minutes. And then when I come back, I give a hand and then I'll show you what. Friends, it's been 15 minutes and now I'm gonna give a hand to my bread. And at this point, that's when you know if you need more water, if it's too wet, you need to add more flour, or if it's too dry, you need to add more water. But this one, I don't think it needs anything. So I had about 5 cups of water. That's all I had. And I know that because it's pulling away from the pan and it's not sticking to the bottom of the pan. And it's here, see? It's good, and it's doing the flips. And the more flips you do, the more the consistency of the bread changes, because we're stretching that gluten. I can't eat up this stuff, but my family loves this, so I figure. So I'm gonna cover this and leave it here in a warm place for an hour. Okay, friends, it's been 1 hour that my bread has been here, and look, it filled up almost the whole bowl. I'm gonna do this round loaves. I'm gonna share this with my in-laws and maybe some with my sister and sister-in-law. So I'm just gonna do some round loaves. That way everybody gets a little bit. It has a perfect consistency. And this should give me at least maybe about 4 loaves of bread. I'm gonna do one like my mom used to do it. And this is the American way. You kind of want to shape them. So there, perfect round. Here's 2. I'm gonna do like my mom used to do. We call it pão caseiro. This is how my mom used to make it, and how I learned how to make bread. And you flatten, and then you flip it again. Don't ask me why we do this, but this is how my mom did. I don't know what that meant to do this. Then you flip it over and you make this little mount, stretching this. Then you bring it over and bring it to the middle, and this other one to this side. And it becomes like a roll. And then we put it in a bowl. And then we let it rise. And then when it's ready to go to the oven, I'll show you. Designs on these. And all I'm gonna do is, I'm using my kitchen scissors and just make some cuts. And you wanna do this before your bread proofs, because then you don't want it to deflate it when it's done. And that's how you do it. Okay, I'm gonna make this one different. And that's what it makes that beautiful designs you see on the breads. That's how it's done. You don't need special tools. Okay, so now it's gonna stay here. I'm gonna cover with a towel, and it's gonna rest for 30 minutes until they rise. Okay friends, my bread has risen. It's ready, it's proof. So now I'm gonna put it in the oven. I preheat my oven at 450. And then I just lowered to 400, and I'm gonna put in there, and here's the other one. I put them in a separate pan because they were gonna rise and they were gonna touch each other. And then these are the ones that I made in a bowl. I'm gonna put it in this pan here, and this is what it's gonna look like. And I'm gonna sprinkle some flour on top and let it be, and it's gonna be cooked like that. Put this one in here, and you want to kind of fold that ukapil, that top. If it's this one. Okay? And they're gonna stay here, and they're gonna bake as soon as those other ones are out. Here friends, here is my bread. These are the ones I made it in a bowl. Look at this, and look at this. This is what brings memories, is all this. Oh my gosh. I couldn't resist. I already went and digged in here. Look how soft this is. See? I have one more in the oven. And I cannot help myself to a piece of this. I can't wait for my big ovens so I can make a lot more of this. This little oven is so small. Look at this. Look. It is so soft. You don't see this in the stores. And the reason this is like this is because I don't overwork that dough. Home. This reminds me of home. My whole house smells like bread. That's why we never lose weight. And that's why I need to stay away from this. I can't be eating all this because you can't resist it. But anyway, here it is. San Miguel style. A recipe, small batch. O Pão Caseiro com capel. So, I hope you tried this recipe, and I will have a recipe at the end underneath on description. I will have a recipe for this bread, and it gave me 4 small, I mean they're not that big, but they give me 4, and you can do a puff 6 if you want to, if you don't want to make them all big. But anyway, here's an easy recipe. Memories, 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 memories. That's why I keep doing this, because it kind of puts me back right when we were kids. So anyway, try this recipe. Give me a thumbs up. And until next time, let's get cooking. Have a good day.